This episode of Twin Speaks contains spoilers.
We're back, baby! Hello and welcome to Twin Speaks First Watch, First Listen of the 91st Academy Awards and High Flying Bird, a double feature. I felt so stupid saying that. In my head, I was like, oh, this is a great idea. Let's call it a double feature. Like movies.
Are we starting?
Yeah, this is it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you were I thought you were like practicing or something.
No, this is it, man.
Sorry. I thought you were going to do that other thing you were talking about doing.
What other thing?
The thing you literally just started with.
That was me doing it and then going into it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
you made a funny face after you did it like, and I was like,
starring Andre Holland, Zazie Beetz, Melvin Gregg, Zachary Quinto, and Kyle MacLachlan. Directed by Steven Soderbergh and written by Terrell Alvin McCraney. I'm your co-host, Pat. You can find me on Twitter at KidCombo, and I am, of course, joined by my twin brother and co-host. You can find him on social media at Anemonium. It's Andrew. Do you ever want me to plug your Sad Murphy Twitter, Instagram account?
Nah, you just did, so that's cool.
Sad Murphy.
Sad_Murphy.
There you go.
We got 200-something followers.
Yeah, that's right. So we're back. After a week after Family Day, took a little break, and we watched a movie.
We didn't like alienate anybody international who's listening.
Yeah, Family Day. They probably don't know. We have a lot of listeners in Sweden.
Family Day is like The Purge, but
Shout
for families.
Oh, God.
It's just you against the rest of your family. You're not allowed to touch other families. Just your own. Last person standing is allowed to live.
There's just a ring in the center of their living room where everybody's just standing inside with knives and masks on.
And the only reason that you're also alive is you're adopted, so you had to go fight your other Nigerian family. And you won! As did I. Sorry, Dad, but he's dead.
Did you watch the Oscars?
I watched half of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I love that you asked me this to prompt a question, but you asked me before we started.
Well,
did you watch the Oscars? I did.
Well,
okay, I'm gonna ask you again though.
That's why I asked.
This is why I never tell you anything before we get here.
This is how the sausage made.
I just wear a potato sack over my head. I drive myself over here and I walk in, and then you just put the mic down. That's when we start talking. But you screwed it up. I went with a garbage bag today. I could see through it. Wasn't the same.
Okay. Yeah, I only watched about half or whatever. I watched it from when wait, so you have to tell me how to say it again.
You're making me double think of it. Mahershala. Oh, no, I said it wrong. It's Mahershala. No, Shal. Now I forgot how to spell.
Mahershala.
Yeah, that's what it is. Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was mixing up the I and the A.
That's right.
That's why my name is actually Andrew.
Okay, well, yeah, anyway.
Andrew McMall. That's actually not that different.
Rick. Mine doesn't change that much.
What, just because they're twins, you have the same disability as me?
Okay. Yeah. Actually, I switched mine to O's.
O's for what? Everything? You're just ooh.
Yeah, so we're just going to go through, like, just a recap of the Oscars that were on last night, February 24th, 2019. It was a Sunday.
It wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Overcast. I think
it wasn't overcast. No, it wasn't. This is all. You're making all this up.
This all happened yesterday. I can't even remember what the weather was like. What was the weather?
You're gonna have to edit out all that stuff. It was not as funny as you thought it was gonna be.
Anyway, we're just gonna recap some of the interesting stuff that happened. Maybe I don't know. We're just going by the seat of our pants here. Seam of our pants?
No, I didn't.
I
wear
always
pants.
Question that saying. Is it seam of your pants or seam?
No idea.
Of your pants?
I've literally never worn pants before.
Oh yeah, you're not wearing them.
So therefore, I do not understand metaphors. That's what they say. You wear pants. You understood what a metaphor is. And you wear a shirt, similes are your game.
Oh, okay. Never heard that. This explains why you're just wearing a sheet over your junk.
It's not a sheet. It's the potato sack I wore earlier.
I thought that was just over your head.
That's over the rest of my body. It's an industrial-sized potato sack.
Yeah, you're right. And socks.
I bought it branded. Save some
Army.
money. Not U.S. Army. Yeah.
You got it from the Army surplus store. That's what they put over terrorists when they're torturing them.
It's got a little bit of a blood stain on it. It was discounted.
Okay, let's get going here. Okay. Best supporting actress. I don't know if these are in order, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
That one definitely
was
isn't.
the first.
That was
that
the first one. I'm pretty sure that one was.
Oh, okay.
Regina King.
Yeah, Regina King. Beale Street Could Talk.
I didn't see
that
this movie.
It wasn't playing.
I did see
in our area.
Yeah, right. It didn't play until like
it's
recently.
only just started playing. It's like the second week of being here or something.
The guy who plays Kripke in Big Bang Theory
Oh, okay.
posted a picture of him and Regina King from the Big Bang Theory, and I was like, what the fuck? Is this the first time an Academy Award winner has ever been on Big Bang Theory now? Boom. Although, wait, no, it doesn't matter. Don't look into that.
Boom.
Who else was nominated for that one?
Emma Stone for The Favorite, Rachel
Didn't see it.
Weisz for The Favorite, Amy
Didn't see
Adams for Vice, and Marina de Tavira from Roma. Yeah, cool.
These all literally every movie I didn't see.
Best documentary, Free Solo, which I heard was really
I heard
good.
it was really good. They were like pumping that one up here too because they
Yeah,
were showing it
yeah.
at IMAX and stuff.
And
But yeah, that looked cool.
think-
They had him on. He did like a Wired interview recently. On,
Yeah,
like,
that one
it
where
was
he's,
like
like,
him rating
rock
free
climbing
climbs or
stuff,
something. Yeah.
That's kind of a neat.
Tom Cruise one was probably on there.
Best costume design was Black Panther.
Yeah, that's sweet.
That makes sense.
So that's Marvel's like first ever Oscar, wasn't it?
I thought
I'm pretty
Iron
sure
Man
it
won for
was.
something.
No, I don't think so. I think that's Marvel. Like,
That's their first
Fuck.
ever one.
now I gotta check.
The Favorite was in that category as well. Mary Poppins Returns, Mary Queen of Scots, and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs. All those movies make sense to me. Like, that's one of the categories I think that makes a lot of sense for who could have gotten it. But Black Panther, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, so like first 3 Oscars were all to Black Panther. Crazy.
That is crazy. Best film editing, Bohemian Rhapsody, John Ottman. Did you see all that stuff on Twitter of like the amount of cuts that he has in like a 30-second span?
No.
There was like one, and it was like them.
Is it like the Liam Neeson one where he's climbing a fence and taking 2 or 3 or something like that? It takes him like 10 minutes to climb that fence.
It's kind of like that because like it's the one scene that keeps getting circulated is like that the band is like sitting at a table and they're like meeting with an agent or something, and then he comes in, but like the whole scene there has to be at least 100 cuts,
Oh.
and it's just like random cuts.
Wait, did they win sound editing or film editing?
I
that
think they
was-
won both.
Oh.
Yeah, they won sound editing, sound mixing, and film editing.
I love that they win sound editing for a movie about their own band.
Yeah,
Playing their own songs. In the
there was
entire
like one
band.
tweet. It was like, "Oh, this guy won an Oscar for putting Queen
inserting
music
Queen- yeah,
in a
exactly.
Queen movie." It's like, what?
He just stole my original thought. But I definitely didn't read that tweet.
I don't know. The film editing one, it's like it's very subjective in the first place. It's like
Yeah.
what constitutes film editing. But I know that.
It's all subjective, man.
But I know it shouldn't be that movie.
Okay,
Just
what's
based
yours
on
then?
those like those.
What's your
Well, Black Klansman had cool editing. Like that was in there. Vice was in there.
Didn't see Vice.
Didn't see Vice, but The Favorite.
All
and
of my
Green
picks
Book.
for the Oscars this year were just movies I saw. Because it was like one in each category.
Production design, Black Panther won that one. Best cinematography, Roma,
Right.
which was
Fair
like,
enough. I've seen like
unbelievable.
enough of that movie to say like, holy shit, yeah.
Yeah, And that was Alfonso Cuarón.
Although, if High Flying Bird was on,
Oh, yeah.
hell yeah. Little
Which
teaser for later.
2019, So, yeah.
Yeah. But,
But-
like, damn.
Yeah. But this was cool. I mean, that's kind of neat to see him win that because that was Alfonso Cuarón that did it. Like, he did his own cinematography.
Did he do cinematography for Children of Men, too?
You know what? Might be because, like, that has a very similar style, I think.
Yeah.
Not quite the same, but very sort of similar. And what was the other movie they did? Gravity? He's the one that did Gravity,
no,
right?
it's Emmanuel Lubezki.
Oh, okay. Did Children of Men?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Cold War was in that one, which I haven't seen, but I've seen enough of to say that movie looks beautiful as well. Never Look Away. I'm not really sure what movie that was. I actually didn't see. And The Favorite and A Star Is Born. The Favorite looked cool, though. Like that one.
Yeah,
that one
I liked
could've
how that
easily
one
won as
looked,
well.
too, yeah.
Best sound editing, like we said, Bohemian Rhapsody. Like, congratulations, you put Queen music and same with like sound mixing, like whatever. But what's funny is like the sound mixing one is he's not even singing in it.
No.
He's.
I saw a tweet that was like that, too, and I actually disagree. It was like, shoot.
Who was the TikTok one?
No, it was the one talking about how like Rami Malek, like he just like lip synced in his movie, but then like Bradley Cooper learned to play guitar and piano and learned to sing and produced and directed and wrote.
Yeah.
Or not wrote.
There's even
Stars
the
Born.
Elton John one where Taron, what's his name? Something Eagleton?
No, you're thinking
Egerton?
You're thinking a different Joel Edgerton.
No, and then there's the other guy.
Yeah, I think it's
Taron
Egerton or something like that.
Yeah, anyway.
Okay,
The guy's playing,
if only there was a way to look.
the guy's playing Elton John, like he actually sings in that movie. That's
What's
his
it called?
voice.
Rocket Man?
Yeah. Which looks really good.
Taron Egerton.
Oh, okay. That was close.
But yeah, like I disagree with that tweet though, because like he's not getting an Oscar for like the Oscar wasn't for like
Singing.
the one it wasn't for producing, it wasn't for directing, it wasn't the one that he was in the category for was for the lead actor. Like they don't take into consideration all that other stuff.
No, it's just
They don't
like,
say
what's
he
good at
deserves
acting?
it because
Of his
he
acting
directed,
ability.
produced, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, honestly, like as much as I disagree with him winning, I think that like if he could act that he would look like he was singing, then great.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But I know we're jumping ahead with that one though. Okay, let's just do that one.
Do you want to go right to
lead actor? Yeah, we'll just jump around.
Yeah, sure.
There's no rules.
So
fix
best
the levels
actor-
on that, you bitch.
Oh God. Best actor Rami Malek for Bohemian Rhapsody won, and then the other people in that category were Christian Bale for Vice, Viggo Mortensen for Green Book, Bradley Cooper for A Star Is Born, and Willem Dafoe at Eternity's Gate.
The clip that they show
God,
for it at Eternity's Gate, I was like, holy shit. I gotta see this movie because
They
holy crap.
They couldn't have picked a better clip to like showcase what his acting
Exactly,
was.
yeah. He kind of like gave me the willies stuff.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm bringing that back.
The Willies.
The willies.
The Willems.
I'm getting the Willems. I'm getting Defoe's. That one's better, I think. But yeah, he is so intense in that little clip. Like if that was just a trailer, it reminds me of the trailer for what's that punk movie that you sent me the clip today.
Oh, the the one, the Handmaid's Tale lady.
Yeah. The one that it reminded me of that. Like it sort of like draws you in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but like.
Well, we talked about that one clip that was like kind of a trailer, kind of a teaser for like a long time.
But it was just like a one shot.
I gotta look it up because just because.
But
we're
yeah,
talking about it now.
I think like that was like if they just based Oscars off of short clips like that, like they just could submit a clip.
Elizabeth Moss.
Yeah. They could just submit a clip like he would have won. But,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I think the movies that they picked this year for the Oscars kind of weird.
We're so predictable, though.
Yeah, like Green Book had that. It honestly reminded me a lot of like Bridge of Spies or that other
Yeah,
one, The Post.
Yeah.
Like it had that sort of like touchy feel. Like I was listening to the Bill Simmons podcast today,
Yeah, cool.
and he was talking about how, because they were talking about the odds on like Green Book winning, and he said that that movie was so popular with like old people.
Yeah.
He said anybody over 60 was just like oohing and ahhing. He said there was one guy he talked to that it was like the best movie he's seen in the last like 10 years.
What?
And it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, A, are you not seeing movies?
Yeah.
B, are you fucking kidding me? Like that
there's
of all movies? Like, I
hundreds of
get
better
what,
movies.
like, I don't know. Like, you look at a movie, there's two movies that were up, Black Klansman and Green Book. They had a very, very, very similar message.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Black Klansman was so much better in, like,
Delivery.
as I was saying this, it's like, Andrew, you haven't seen
Green Book.
Green Book.
You know
Or,
enough
sorry,
about it.
Andrew, you haven't seen Green Book. But yeah, I think, but like Black Klansman just portrayed that so much, like in a way that it didn't feel like it was pandering. It made you genuinely feel bad with how things are and were and all that stuff. And it was just kind of like really like that's like, I get why it won now. And I get why there was so much like draw over like having Vigo in there. And like, I feel like Vigo's at that point in his career where he can do any movie and he's just going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll get nominated for something.
And same with Mahershala too. Like,
Yeah. Nice.
Mahershala.
I
think it's almost easier to say if you say one, not both.
There's a couple things with Green Book winning, because Green Book won Best Picture. Like, we're jumping to that one now. And there was like one picture I saw, and it was like them doing their acceptance speech, and there was two black guys on the stage.
I saw that. So when they were doing the acceptance
and
speech,
I was like,
they had so many
I get
white
it.
dudes up there.
Like,
And then they had what's her face? She's great. I forgot where she's in. Or what's her name?
if she's in Green Book,
I don't know if she is.
Oh.
But she was up on the stage. She's an actor.
because there was like the one, it was like a picture, and it was just all these old white guys.
Yeah.
Like, and they were old. So you saying like this movie was really popular with 60 plus people? Yeah, that's because 60 plus people made it. And it was just like all these like white guys, and there was like two black guys, one of them of which was in the movie.
Yeah.
And like I saw this one tweet, it was like, oh, the like best picture went to the movie about an old guy who had a black friend once.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
man, like there's so many better movies.
As if it
Why
was
is
like
this
a
one-
retelling about his one black friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they're like on the subreddit and like all these different. I was reading this like New York Times article today about the recap of the Oscars, and even they were going like, "Oh, this is like one of the biggest blunders in Best Picture Oscars history."
Whoa.
Like they were calling it like,
I know they were calling it, Octavia Spencer. That's
Yeah,
her name.
she's great.
She was the only woman that was on there, I'm pretty sure. There was two.
yeah,
It was her, and then it was, what's his face's partner.
yeah,
I don't remember.
Vigo.
Trying to picture who it was. Vigo's partner.
yeah.
Vigo was standing so far on the side.
Yeah, and then they were
They
like,
panned to him a
this-
couple times to the show, and
he
he
was
just looked like so
He could have
uncomfortable
been doing
with
the
it.
thing where
Yeah.
you go like, no,
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
like pan away from me, please.
But yeah, like I could see, like your point was they were talking about being like 2019 or 18 Crash.
Yeah, and like I mean, in some sense, like the political reasons for this movie for not like why it shouldn't have won is because like the director, like there was all these articles about him flashing himself to
Yeah.
like different actresses, even
But
some
having
of which
said that-
at restaurants and stuff.
But during the Golden Globes, Bohemian Rhapsody won, and like,
Yeah.
what are they gonna like?
Yeah.
Then they were up as well. So like, it's like pick your poison type thing.
And then they don't
They could have given it
respond to that too. That's
So
the
like,
thing.
what were the other movies that were in Best Picture?
Best Picture was Black Panther, Black Klansman, Bohemian Rhapsody, The Favorite, Green Book, Roma, A Star Is Born, and Vice. It would have been cool to see Roma win. Would have been cool to see The Favorite win.
I think Black Klansman
Black
was such a
Klansman.
like a. I don't want to say slept on because like it got nominated.
Yeah.
But it's still like is one of those movies where I think people did sleep on it.
I still don't know if Black Panther should be on there.
I know.
Like, I think it, like, 3/4 of that movie is amazing. And it does really, like, get you because, it's just it feels like a brand new type of world in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It does feel disconnected quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then the last bit is very, like, Marvel movie where it's just a lot of CGI and a lot of action.
A lot of CGI. And there's,
and, like, not that that's bad because it's done really well,
Yeah.
but it's just, like, I think in hindsight, it's sort of falling into that superhero
but it
fatigue
is
type
such
thing.
it's such a classic Afrofuturist style movie, which is really, really cool to see now. Like, what was that book that we read? Remember I had to loan you that book? The Afrofuturist one? You remember that one?
I have no idea what book you're talking about. Well, like, do they know? Like, do
No.
the 5 people who listen to
I was
this
gonna
know
cut
that
it
you just
out.
turned to Georgia?
Kindred. Was it Kindred? No, it wasn't.
Now you can't cut it out because I'm just going to keep talking. It's going to sound really abrupt when you cut it.
Anyway.
No, now you have a cut spot. Anyway.
But then what's interesting, like, just thinking about that movie, because I watched it twice, was like, there is a lot of exposition in that
I've
movie.
actually seen it so much.
There's
I
like-
don't think so. I don't think there is.
There's like a bit where it just feels like it kind of drags on a little longer than it needs to.
Black Panther.
Yeah.
I think it has. I think it has exposition. I don't think it has like a lot. Like,
but
like
that's-
there's the scene where like
Yeah.
the scene where it's they're younger. It's like set in the past, and they're
That's
sort
actually
of
the scene I
explaining
was thinking about.
Yeah. with Sterling K. Brown,
Yeah.
my boy,
He's great. I like him. I like
Mahershala Ali, my other boy, Viggo Mortensen, my white boy.
And then, okay, so let's go back a little bit to.
But anyways,
I don't know.
I'm just glad Bohemian. I saw some comments and they were like, it could have been worse. It could have been Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, it could have been, and that would
But
have been just like
I said that. I don't think
that would have
just
been the,
the way
worst pick.
that. Yeah,
then-
so like
This one is like just a boring, weird pick. I don't know.
safe pick, but
Safe
it's
pick,
not
yeah.
at the same time. Anyways, supporting actor.
Yeah, supporting actor Mahershala Ali
Yeah.
for Green Book. Which
Yeah.
good for him. Like
Yeah.
that's
So
awesome.
that's his second win.
I
He's
think that's
2
the
for
second
2. He's
one.
like,
'Cause he
I saw
won
a
one
stat.
for-
It was like him and Denzel are the only two. I can't
to be nominated
and win in
Yeah.
both times that they've been nominated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
he won from
Which is
Moonlight?
crazy. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So that was 2 years ago?
Yeah. That's crazy.
3 years ago.
To just be that consistent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's an amazing actor. Like
Yeah, I mean, despite like not being able to understand a lot of people in True Detective, like he's really good in that.
oh, he's unbelievable.
Although like Ray Fisher, also really good.
And his partner. Not Ray Fisher's partner. Mahershala's partner.
I can't remember what his name is. Though.
I can't remember his name either.
I also
he's-
don't remember any character's name in that.
But he's fantastic as well.
But he's
like,
good. But yeah, like I think Ray Fisher almost like blew me away. I kept expecting him to be like a bad actor, but he's actually
you know
like
what?
really good.
I had the
Just because
exact
like
thought.
basically based only on Cyborg, even
Like-
though he's been in other stuff. I think
I feel like I'm hypercritical of him anytime he's on in that show.
I'm the same with Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I'm like waiting for him to be like, "You're not that good at this,
Yeah.
are you?" But no, he's like fine.
Yeah. So who else? It was him, Sam Rockwell, who skinhead look when he came out.
Yeah,
Looks sick.
I wonder if he's like filming something where he's had to shave it all off, and then he
Maybe.
has like kind of a scriggly beard too, and
Maybe he just
maybe that's the look he's going for. I don't know.
yeah. He's going for fresh out of prison, and I definitely have a swastika tattoo somewhere on my leg.
Yeah. Adam Driver for Black Klansman, which he was great in that.
It was great. I think like again like that's I think it's only the only movie I've seen in those lists.
Yeah.
He was good. I don't know if he should have won it though.
Yeah.
Like I'm glad that he did.
I would
I
have been
think like
surprised. if
yeah,
he
I would
won
have been
it.
surprised if he wanted to. Cuz like he's really good in it. He's Adam Driver like in that, but like
And then Sam Elliott in A Star Was Born. It would have been cool to see Sam Elliott win.
yeah, he's like another
He's
guy.
been
They
in
were talking
so
about
many
him.
things.
They were talking about him and Glenn Close were like the two
Most
most
nominated.
hated and nominated like actors in
Yeah.
the Academy Awards.
And then Richard E. Grant for Can You Ever Forgive Me?
Although I think he was the favorite
Yeah, that's
from
right.
what I was reading. Yeah.
That movie, I feel like, and I don't know anybody that actually saw it.
No, I don't.
Like,
I don't
even
know
think
if that
read
I was
reviews
again like
for it.
I was listening to that podcast and they were saying that like when they were giving out screeners, they didn't. That was one that like really didn't get handed out.
Yeah, weird. I didn't really hear a lot about
We
it.
gotta
at all.
start like writing reviews, so we get invited to screeners.
Yeah, fuck yeah. We'll start a blog.
I'll start a blog. I'll start a WordPress website.
Yeah.
We actually don't we have a website?
It's not finished.
It's
a hard thing to do, man.
www.gov.twinspeaks
I couldn't just get Twin Speaks Pod. It's
underscore
like
pod
dot blog dot website.
.blogspot.blogger.com. Subscribe to our RSS feed.
We do actually have one of those.
We do?
Yeah.
I was kidding. I know.
Oh.
I was double kidding. I didn't know we did.
Okay. Best animated feature: Spider-Man: Into the Spider-Verse.
Genuinely disappointed that Incredibles 2 didn't make it. Or sorry, Ralph breaks the internet. How dare I? John C. Reilly deserves justice. And I love Sarah Silverman, so
I think that's
this was like one of those ones. Some of the odds on this one winning were like astronomical.
Yeah.
Like you were an idiot
To
if
bet
you
against
bet
that.
against this one.
Yeah.
Because like everybody had this one on their list. This should have been nominated in like hot take, not hot take. I call this the mediocre 5 on my stovetop take. It should have been nominated for Best Picture.
I was actually going to say that if animated features were in the Best Picture category, this would have been in it, like
absolutely.
a shoe-in. Absolutely. Easily one of the best movies that we saw, if not
Yeah.
the best movie we saw
So
last year.
did they start because like this movie, the voice acting in this movie is unreal. Like
Yeah.
it's so good. So like, do they start like they're a voice acting? They have an animated
Yeah.
Best Animated Picture
And the
category.
best
Why
animated
not?
short, too.
So why not have Best Voice Actor?
Yeah.
You know, like category.
Do you think that's something that they'll start doing
No,
soon?
absolutely not.
Yeah, it'll be like 10 years before they do.
The Oscars are the most slow
Out
to
of
change,
touch.
but having said that, they reacted in like such a knee-jerk reaction to people complaining about cinematography and editing not being broadcast.
And Kevin Hart not
And, like,
being the host, and then everything. They just respond
fucking
so
weird
weirdly.
because like this was the fastest Oscars in the last like 25 years or something stupid like that. Like
Yeah.
it was like 3 hours with commercial breaks, but you take those out, it was like 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
Like that's brisk.
And then they usually go for like, God, I mean, I remember watching the one last year, and it was like,
It was 8
Pretty
hours.
far
I
into
think I was
9.
worked an entire shift and it was still on. No, I'm just kidding. Just going and going.
But,
Jimmy Kimmel's just trying the same joke and nobody's laughing. Wait, was it Jimmy Kimmel?
I think so.
We went over this last time.
I think it was Jimmy Kimmel because he was funny. Actually, I liked him in it.
I should have just said Jimmy.
Jimmy,
James,
Jimbo.
Mr. Kimmel. Damn it, I did it again.
Incredibles 2 was also in that category. Ralph Breaks the Internet, Isle of Dogs, and Murray.
Ralph Breaks the Internet and Incredibles 2 both got nominated just because they were anime movies.
I think so. Yeah.
I saw both of those.
Yeah. Okay. Did
Oh,
you see
they're
Isle of
fun.
Dogs?
No.
We did, and it I don't know why it's in this category.
Georgia just gave it,
It was good.
3 out of 5.
Did you? 3 out of.
Oh, whoa. 3 out of 7?
It was good, but
It's good.
yeah.
That's a 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Out of
And then
5
a
fingers.
6.
And then you gave it a 6. Make up your mind, Georgia. One. That's a 1.
The
Holding
one.
up her middle fingers, ladies and gentlemen.
She. Talking about the third
Third
person now. There's another person in the room.
Okay, and then
The survivor of Georgia's Purge.
best animated short was Bow.
They call like callback. Sorry,
Did you
what?
see that one?
What?
Bow.
What? Oh, yeah, I actually seen that.
'Cause that one's
Did they play before?
Incredibles 2.
Right.
So we would have seen it together, and it was.
I didn't see any of the other animated shorts though.
I know.
So again, like
I know. I was like, cool.
like it
that
was
one.
good, and it definitely made me sad before Incredibles 2.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And really confused because he isn't a dumpling, and then he is, and then he isn't, and then
then
at the
she
end it's
eats him
just
at
a
one
metaphor
point.
for people growing up.
Yeah.
as dumplings.
Oh. As dumplings.
Yeah.
then
Little
you
known
get-
fact about Chinese culture. Everybody's a dumpling until there's 27. You just grow up as a dumpling. You just fill in your face as a dumpling. And then boom, puberty.
At 27.
At 27. Yeah. That's when I hit puberty.
So you haven't hit
That's
it
when
yet?
I hit puberty. I'm not saying when my birthday is online.
It's August 9th.
No, that's your birthday.
Best visual effects, First Man.
Yeah, Infinity War was nominated for this
Yeah,
too.
Infinity
Actually,
War-
fair game to First Man. Like that movie did have crazy cinematography, crazy,
I saw this
crazy.
Dylan, a friend from the Indie Heads podcast, said they didn't know a single person that saw First Man, and then I said I saw it, but I'm also a white guy in his mid-20s,
Yeah,
and I feel like that's who it was marketed. There was a lot of old
Was
people
it?
when we were at that movie.
there was a ton of old people. It was only
That's
old
what-
people.
I checked
There was
my-
that lady two down from us. Who was?
God,
Oh,
she's
sorry,
just-
one down from us who was by herself and was really nice and like just had a shitload of snacks.
Yep.
And you wouldn't even notice because she just kept to herself. And then there was the
then-
people down from you
Yes,
that just talked the entire time.
they did like the classic kind of older person thing where they just
They
sort of
kept
just
asking
talk
for
through the
closed
movie.
captioning.
Yeah, they're asking them to repeat themselves.
What? Which
They-
Armstrong is that?
They just kind of like just chattered through the entire
I love
thing.
Jason Clark.
Whatever. Just listen to the other episode. I think I complained about it for like 15 minutes. But yeah, I mean that one won. Avengers: Infinity War would have been cool to see that one win because that one had insane special effects.
Yeah.
So, Solo, a Star Wars movie or a Star Wars story.
I don't know if that one. There was a lot of practical stuff in
Yeah.
that one, though.
That one had a bunch of stuff in the
Just
beginning.
special effects count as practical effects, like.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Ready Player One and Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin. That one's
Yeah,
kinda
that was crazy. Also, but like, I get Ready Player One. That movie is 99% special effects.
It's almost animated altogether.
Yeah.
Whoops. Yeah, it's almost animated, like by the end of it.
Right.
Best original screenplay, Green Book. Again,
I thought this one was weird. It was like, wait, no. And this was the one I got confused. It was original screenplay or
best
adapted screenplay?
original screenplay. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Green
yeah,
Book.
yeah. Who else was in that, though?
The Favorite, Roma, Vice, and First Reformed.
So,
Okay, I have a funny thing about.
so,
First Reformed.
Vice is based off of real events.
Yes.
Is Green Book?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
I think it's based off of.
something that happened specifically, not
Yeah.
just like in general.
I think so. Yeah.
That doesn't make
'Cause
wouldn't
they
that
were, like,
sound
real
like
people
I know
in
it's not like adapted screenplays like adapting a work like something like a book or something
Yeah.
like Black Klansman, but like yeah,
Because like all the other ones for adapted screenplay, it
They
Beale
need,
Street
like-
to Talk, which is from oh god, I'm forgetting his name now. But Barry Jenkins did that one. A Star is Born, that one's obvious. Can You Ever Forgive Me? That one's based off a book. Black Klansman, based off a book. Ballad of Buster Scruggs, based off of a book / like
Is it?
folklore, or I don't know.
I don't know.
But Green Book was like I don't know.
I don't know about
Whatever.
any of those. Like that, I feel like they need like 6 subcategories for
Yeah, for screenplays.
screenplays. Yeah, adapted screenplays
What's
based
funny,
on real events screenplays.
There was like a interview I saw with Paul Schrader, who did First Reformed, who directed and wrote it, and he had predicted that he was going to lose to Green Book
Wow.
in all categories that they were together in, which is I think only this one. And then he was predicting that they were going to win Best Picture because he said there's no match for mediocrity.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's
Shots
a
fired.
deep burn.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, but
like,
like
he was like,
that
no,
is-
I'm not fucking going to win. Like,
But that's such a like a. That's so true though. Like
yeah. But this is what we were talking about. Like,
although having said that, like the movies that were up 2 years ago, was Moonlight 2 years ago now? Moonlight, La La Land.
yeah,
Those are
2016.
good movies.
They were really good movies. Yeah.
So like, the fuck?
Mm.
But then, like, you look at it,
But-
like, Bohemian Rhapsody was up. Like,
But
that, again,
this is what
mediocre.
your point was before. This is why we keep getting The Post, and what was the other one that you said?
Because they can get fucking
Bridge of
away
Spies.
with. Yeah, I saw Bridge of Spies, and that movie was so lackluster. Like, it just sucked. It was just Tom Hanks looking confused. That was all it was. It was like honestly, like, it was all the scenes from Tom Hanks' character from Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah,
Literally just stitched together, and then he was like aged.
Yeah,
That was it. The entire movie.
and they pick these like most broad, generic stories.
Yeah.
I don't know. Best adapted screenplay, like we were saying, If Beale Street Could Talk, A Star Is Born, Can You Ever Forgive Me, Black Klansman, and The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, and Black Klansman won, which is cool,
Sweet.
really cool.
Actually, like, gave me some hope. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, because that one came
Because, like,
first.
usually, and like, there's so many like exceptions to these rules too, where they say, like, if this one wins this category, it's definitely winning Best Picture.
Yeah,
And like Green Book, that's why it was kind of like a little shocking that it won, because like it didn't win all these other ones.
yeah.
And then that's, well, I guess it did win original screenplay.
And then all of a
but,
sudden it was
still.
like, oh, okay, yeah, it's gonna win.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Spike Lee, David Rabinowitz, Charlie Watchnell, and Kevin Wilmot.
Yeah.
There's 4 writers. So yeah, Spike Lee went on, and
That's sweet.
his like little acceptance speech was kind of neat.
I didn't actually watch that. I just saw the thing with Samuel Jackson telling him the next
Yeah,
line.
Samuel Jackson.
I
was,
watched
like,
that game too.
maybe the best part of the whole like thing. Like all the presenters was like Samuel Jackson getting excited, and then like him and Brie Larson coming out like half baked. Like they came out and they were just like not sticking to the script. They were just kind of talking, and they were like giggling to themselves and stuff.
Yeah,
and
that's funny.
And then like they open the envelope and he starts screaming because
Oh,
Spike Lee won.
got
and
excited.
It was great. Yeah. Best original score: Black Panther, Ludwig Göransson, which is
yeah.
also the guy that did all the Community stuff.
Yeah.
Which
That
is
guy's
hilarious.
sweet. And he mixed a lot of Childish Gambino stuff.
Yeah, and that's how they first got together was
Yeah.
because they met on Community.
That's sweet.
That's really funny. It's kind of neat that he won.
I
don't know.
thought Kendrick did most of the soundtrack though. Or I guess soundtrack's different than score.
Yeah, I think scores
Right, yeah.
because he was like talking about how it was to do with the orchestra that he was like working with or whatever. But If Beale Street Could Talk was in that one. Mary Poppins Returns, Isle of Dogs, Black Klansman. All for that category.
Black Klansman did have sort of like
Some
an
cool,
intense,
yeah, they had a
like-
cool soundtrack
yeah,
or score rather.
but like very different than like Black Panther. Black Panther's score was very like trance-like. So much of that movie,
yeah,
and then like Black Klansman kind of had this like almost like guilt to it. Like the
Yeah,
entire
right.
movie, every time the score was like, ugh, I feel
Yeah.
bad.
Best original song was obviously "Shallow" by A Star Is Born.
Yeah.
That
I
one
haven't
is
seen
like,
that, but like people were really hyping that one up as like what it should have won.
you know, I guess I saw it coming just because like everybody loved or like this was again like one of those things that the Academy and like everybody in the theater or whatever that they're doing this at was like so excited about, and then they performed that one song. It was like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
This is
and
gonna
everybody was
win,
like,
whatever.
they're technically supposed to have a child now. How do we know they don't?
Okay, and then the other ones in this were All the Stars in Black Panther. Do you know what song that is? I can't think.
I
of
can't
it.
remember. You know,
I'll Fight, and it just says RBG. Again, I don't know. The Place Where Lost Things Go, Mary Poppins Returns, and When a Cowboy Trades a Spurs
didn't they
for
perform
Wings.
that one? Somebody, I think they performed that one too.
Which one? The Buster
Mary
Scruggs
Poppins one. No.
Oh, I think they did the Buster Scruggs one too, and it was
Oh.
like Gillian Welch and
Killian Welch.
someone else, and it was really good. It
I
was cool.
literally know one person named Gillian, and you just said that.
Gillian Jacobs.
That's the only one.
Yeah, right.
I don't know why of all ways to read that name, you went to Gillian.
Because it's a G.
So?
Just assumed. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So "Shallow," A Star Is Born won that one. And then, yeah, best actor, we already said. Best actress, Olivia Colman. Her acceptance speech was great. It was so funny.
So great.
It was cool
Just
to see.
a nice, strong tradition of great best actresses
Yeah.
acceptance speeches.
Yeah.
With Frances McDormand last year.
Yeah.
Last
Hers
year?
was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then this
So
one was
good.
just like super funny.
Super funny because like she just was
Just like freaking
like
out. Yeah.
loose. Like
Yeah.
she was just letting it all out. It was great.
And then they pan to her husband and she's like, he's going to cry. And he goes, no, I'm not. And then they pan away and he's like, I got to catch ya.
Yeah. Just stuff like that was so great. Oh.
It
And
was
her
cool,
like when she was leaving, she's like, Lady Gaga.
yeah.
Lady Gaga's like, hi. Yeah.
She
Glenn
was like
Close.
just as excited.
Also, when they showed Glenn Close, she seemed like the most chill person.
Yeah.
She's like, hey, what's up? And they were like, I'm sorry, you should have won. She's like, nah, that's cool. Like, she just seemed like so like,
there was a video I saw and it was like on the red carpet and it was like one of the ET things where it was like a host talking to the camera or whatever. And then it had Glenn Close and she was just by herself in this like corner of the camera watching the person and she's going, oh, yes. And she's like making all these like really funny faces.
okay. Yeah, but nobody can see the faces you just made.
But no,
It
but
just
she's making
sounds
the
like
sounds.
you're
The
just
sounds
jerking
are
yourself
fine.
off. Oh, yeah.
I wasn't, okay?
Oh, my God. He's just looking at a picture of Glenn Close. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So Glenn Close, Lady Gaga, Melissa McCarthy, and Yalitza Aparicio. Forget it.
Yep.
From Roma, yeah. And then Best Director was Alfonso Cuarón with Roma. That one's cool. He had a cool speech. It was really cool
He
to
won
see.
3 after all that, eh?
Yeah, and it was cool to see him and Guillermo del Toro. Like,
Yeah, he was
they're, like,
so excited.
best friends or something.
Yeah.
He's like, this
gave
name I
him
can pronounce.
he like gave him such a long hug.
Yeah,
it was so
really
nice.
nice.
Guillermo seems like such a cool guy.
I love him.
Yeah.
I really like. He's
love him?
so nice. I love him. Yeah, because they won Best Foreign Language Film too.
Yeah,
Which
right.
he was like, this
That
is
was
such a
weird, too.
joke category when he won it.
Yeah.
He's like, there's The Godfather was in this one, and they're like, oh, and they're like, what? Oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
It was almost like such a like a you can have this Oscar. Wow, thanks. Is this a best foreign film? Yeah, sorry.
We ran out of I was gonna say subtitles.
Forgan. That's Gillian Jacobs.
Okay,
Idiot.
and then Best Picture. So Green Book won that one.
And we
Yeah.
saw so many white guys. If there's anything I love seeing on TV, it's old white man. Move over, Octavia Spencer. Make room for the other tall white guys. I love that he was like thanking people. He's like, Octavia Spencer's here? See, there's a woman. And she's black.
There was like a point
I
where
hope people outside could hear that.
Yeah. There's a point where he goes, like, I want to just thank Viggo Mortensen so much.
was like, dude.
But also Mahershala Ali.
I was like, but Mahershala won Best Supporting Actor, dude.
But also Viggo Mortensen the
Viggo
most.
Mortensen, he literally said, he's like, nothing would have happened except, or without
him,
Viggo, yeah.
And I was like,
I'm like,
what?
dude, Viggo, you look good though, but like, you look like you lost some weight from Green Book. Put on all that chicken fat.
Chicken fat. Okay, well, is there anything else you want to talk about with the Oscars?
It's bullshit. Word stuck.
Word stuck, man.
But, and as the Oscars official motto is, at least we're not the Golden Globes. At least we're not Detroit.
At least we're not Detroit. What was that in front of again?
I don't remember. Something about Cleveland, I think.
Okay, so let's talk about High Flying Bird.
Flying Bird.
Starring Andre Holland, Zazie Beetz, Melvin Gregg, Zachary Quinto, and Kyle MacLachlan, directed by Steven Soderbergh. So this is the writer that did Moonlight.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay, sweet.
So, and you can kind of see, you're like, oh, the style is there. It's very dialogue driven.
It's only dialogue driven. There's no basketball that's in this whatsoever.
There's what?
There is absolutely no basketball being played.
Yeah, which is kind of
They
interesting.
show clips, but it doesn't. It's like
Isn't that great?
a second.
So there's like the part where they
This
show...
movie is only dialogue.
It's essentially... And like what's really cool is they just show a lot of different... Like this movie is filmed entirely on an iPhone.
What?
The entire movie's filmed on an iPhone. And...
there was a point where I was wondering why, because there's a couple like not fisheye lens type shots, but like a lot of it looked like that.
yeah.
I didn't realize that. That's crazy.
And what's kind of cool is that they did... So it was like the whole thing was... Because he came out with a movie last year and it was just a short. And it was called Tangerine, I think.
What, Soderbergh?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was the same premise of him. He's like, I'm only going to do it on an iPhone. I'm only going to edit it on a MacBook. Because
Cool.
I think he was like just trying to prove that he could do it. And then it went really well. And it was like the movie got really great
Right.
reviews. And then he was like, okay, let's do it for real.
And
And
then they
like
did
I
this.
even saw he was like editing it on a train.
Yeah.
He was like on a train ride somewhere.
Cool.
And he was editing High Flying Bird for
This was-
Netflix.
Yeah, that's cool. This movie was so good. So like it's following a NBA. Well, it's not NBA, but
So
like
it's
they
all about-
say it's NBA because they drop a lot of NBA players.
Yeah, and they never say a sports team, and they never say
but they do
the
refer to.
NBA, but they obviously allude to it.
They
And
talk.
say
They
New York.
only talk about NBA athletes.
Yeah,
LeBron, Kobe,
yeah,
Steph. They interview NBA draft picks.
yeah. Okay,
Which is sweet. So like, yeah, it's following him.
so it's a
as an
sports agent.
and
Pitches a
he's-
rookie basketball client on an intriguing and controversial business opportunity during a lockout.
Yeah. So
That's
the
the basis of the
opportunity
movie.
is like he gets this kid to go to this charity event,
Mm-hmm.
and he shows up, and then this other kid who was drafted like around the same, like also like in the same round. I think he was
And
also
they
like a first round pick or something like
Drafted
that.
the same team as well.
Same team, and they've been like trash talking on Twitter and shit, and they both show up and they start trash talking each other, and then they like play, and they don't like the kids, like nobody else knows about it, only the people that are there, but kids record it and then it gets uploaded and then it's like a huge thing. Basically that sort of pushes the lockout out the door.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing is very Soderbergh like. Honestly, I thought he wrote this movie because it's like 90% Logan Lucky, and then the last 10% is Ocean's 11.
So you know what's funny is I said that to when I was trying to describe the movie to Georgia. I was like, "Oh, like it's such a classic Soderbergh movie because you go through the entire movie thinking one thing, and you're like, this is really great,' and then you get to the end and you're like, okay, here's like the last 15 minutes, like something weird's gonna happen, or like you're
And
gonna
then something
find
weird's
out
happen,
some
or they like
information.
explain it in such a like a.
And then it does, and,
and
you're
then
like,
they
"Fuck
basically
yeah."
call you a dipshit or something. Like he's
Yeah.
basically like, you don't get it, do you? Or
Yeah.
you can't see it. Like the dude masterminded the entire thing.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, like he basically knew that Sam was going to talk shit behind his back because
Yeah.
she's like that, because she's always like kind of moving on to something else.
Yeah.
So he knew that she was going to sleep with him and then steal him away,
Yeah.
but it was going to push the lock out the door, and then he was already going to sign somebody else.
Yeah.
Like he could give a shit. You spend the entire movie thinking like, oh, he's looking out for this kid, and then you're like, no.
No. Yeah.
He knew that to get money and to move up in the company that he works for, he had to
He had to use
not
people.
like even sacrifice him. He just like straight up was like, no, I know this guy's gonna like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird. It was such a good movie.
It was very interesting.
This blew me away. I didn't really know what to expect, and it
No,
kind of
me
just
either,
like
yeah.
surprised, because you're sort of just like, you do have to pay attention. I think that's the one downside of this movie, is that like there's no I did find I was rewinding it a lot, and this is where maybe Netflix
was perfect for it.
perfect for it, because you have to rewind it and go like,
And I
the
put
fuck?
captions on about halfway
Oh, I
through,
didn't
and I
have to do
went,
that.
I was like, oh, I have to like read
Yeah.
some of this. But just because of the way that the movie is delivered, it's entirely based off of dialogue. So if you actually
Yeah.
miss something, you kind of just lose that little bit of information.
Yeah.
It's not being shown to you, it's being told to you.
yeah.
So you do have to like really pay attention, especially like the amount of dialogue, the sheer volume of
Yeah,
like
totally.
people saying things. But what was really cool is like they have this kid and they're like, yeah, he's like #1 draft pick. He's so good. And then they have him and they're sort of like describing how he became like an agent very subtly through the entire thing. And they're like talking about how he's like, he used his cousin, like he used his cousin's talent because his cousin was really good to be
To
an
like
agent.
vault his way up.
Yeah.
Because he started off.
He's like, what'd you
in-
charge your cousin? He's like, publicity.
No,
Like,
he's. What were you when you started? What were you in charge of?
Yeah.
Publicity.
Yeah.
And then he said like
And then he's like,
representation.
then I went to
started
marketing,
after. Yeah.
And it was like, oh, okay.
But there's tiny parts, and like the interviews are really interesting too, because I think the interviews match up so much with like what's going on. Because there's one where he says there's points where you have to reevaluate your circle.
Yeah.
And you have to look inside the circle and say who's just riding my coattails, who joined in July 25th, and who was supportive before and after.
Yeah.
And then they cut to Sam basically being like, he's going to fire you.
Yeah.
And then later in that same sort of like sequence, you find out that he knew that.
Yeah.
He knew that she was going to take him and represent him.
Yeah.
And you knew that he basically planned the entire thing. And he
Yeah.
knew that like his new circle, Eric new circle was going to include her. She was going to push him out
Yeah.
and just take over everything else. Also, was she pregnant? Because they sort of allude to something about being a mother after that.
Oh, I didn't
I
get
might
that.
have missed that. Anyways, yeah, like so like that. I think those interviews were so like interesting because they show exactly what is happening
Yeah.
throughout that movie, and it wasn't sort of until that third one where I was like, holy shit, this is sort of just like explained.
you're
It's
like-
almost like broken into chapters.
Yeah. And it almost feels like you don't realize what the purpose of having these little interviews throughout.
Yeah.
Because it's like they just talk
At
to
first,
three
you're just
guys.
like, this is sweet.
Yeah, they talk to 3 guys who are in the NBA and
Yeah.
who were drafted into the NBA, who are young players,
Yeah,
and they just sort of insert them throughout the movie.
yeah,
And you kind of don't realize what the purpose of it is because they're just sort of like giving perspective, like about their position in the NBA and like what
Yeah,
it's like
and
getting drafted
yeah.
and being a young person in the NBA and being a rookie. And then it gets to like the third stage, the final, like where it's starting to wrap up, and you're like, oh, I get it now. Like they're just telling you what's going on with this kid's life,
yeah.
but he doesn't know that.
No.
Like the kid, you don't, because you also have like the same perspective as the kid, where you're just
Basically,
like, whatever,
yeah.
like I don't know,
Basically.
understand this.
They sort of trick you into thinking that you're following along with what's his face, the agent.
Yeah,
But really you're sort of just the kid.
Yeah.
Because like the kid through the entire thing has literally no idea what's going on.
yeah,
And then I love at the end when they're like, he's like, thank you for meeting with me, Dr. Edwards. And I'm like, who the fuck?
yeah.
And then they show the book after. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
He just used them.
Because like, and it's funny that you say that because that's a great point about it being through Eric's perspective instead. Because even the part where they're at the charity event, because you just assume like, oh, he's here, he just brought Eric. Like he's saying
Yeah.
like, here's Eric because he's the big name. And then you realize, oh no, like there was much more to that.
But even then, I don't think he didn't invite what's his face.
The Umbers.
Yeah, the Umbers.
Yeah.
The only reason they came was because, and I think he was like planning this before, as he went to like represent. And I don't think he even had the intention to do that. He was just like name dropped that this thing was going to happen, and then they went. Like the
But I
whole
think
movie
they
is played
sort of
so
did,
out,
yeah.
like step by step.
Yeah.
You almost have to watch this in reverse.
Because even the bit with the book where he's like, oh, you'll know
Yeah.
when to look at it. And you're like, okay, weird. Like, I felt like they forgot about it. And then at the end, she's like looking through it. And you're
And
like,
she,
oh, fuck,
I love that
totally get it
she
now.
opens it.
Yeah.
Because
that
he,
makes so much
yeah,
sense.
it makes sense because she, can't keep her fingers out of anything,
Yep.
and like is just so like on the move as far as like trying to climb to the next step. And then that kid's just a kid. Like the entire movie is just him wanting to play basketball. He doesn't
Yeah.
give a shit. So like he's obviously not going to pay attention to this book or
Yeah.
what it represents.
Yeah.
So she almost starts interpreting things for him.
Yeah, exactly. She's telling him what he's supposed to know or wants,
Yeah.
or she wants him to know, rather.
I compared this movie a lot to Moneyball.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think that Moneyball kind of follows the same thing. Like, you don't see a lot of baseball being played. There's like, it's again sort of the same thing where it's like Chris Pratt's character, I think, is the only player that you see.
I always forget that Chris Pratt's in
Yeah.
it. Because he's the guy, the pitcher that they moved to first base or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think of it like the exact same way where it's sort of just following a lot of dialogue. It's talking about players. It's talking about like
The game on top of
the game on top of the game.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this movie is exactly that. Like, it's just a game on top of a game. And it's just like Moneyball, but if Moneyball was directed by Steven Soderbergh. That's all it is. Like, it's the exact same way. It's like basically like Ocean's 11 Moneyball. Like,
This was an awesome movie.
I really liked it.
I
yeah.
really liked it, and I liked it. I think...
I liked it more than I thought I would.
Oh, yeah.
I saw reviews and I thought it looked cool.
I was
And
like,
then
oh, yeah, okay.
and I think part of it's too just like I'm in that kick of like
this
I'm
is-
watching a lot of basketball, so I was sort of
Yeah.
like, okay, like this would be sick. Like this would be right up my alley right now.
And like 8 minutes in, I could already tell that this was going to be your movie because of the just back and forth dialogue.
Yeah.
It's like one guy talks, and then another guy talks, and then another guy talks, and then they're interrupting each other, and
Yeah.
they're like having quips, and they're like, there's like having closed captioning on or subtitles on. You could catch some of like the little things that they were saying.
Yeah, I think
and
this is
stuff.
a movie I'm gonna have to watch again because like
I would
Yeah.
recommend it, not because like it takes away from the acting at all, but it just sort of made it easier to
yeah,
follow.
and like I think it would make more sense too because like it is one of those movies where I did catch myself kind of like shushing Jill a lot because she wasn't really watching. She knew I was like watching it for this, and then she would like call Murphy over and I'd be like, oh fuck, I gotta rewind it. I don't know what he said because there's so many like moving pieces in this movie. But yeah, I loved all the acting in it too. Like I think Zazie Beetz is so great. I'm glad that she's in so much stuff right now because she's such a good actor.
She's a phenomenal actor.
Her and the agent, I always forget his name, but the two of them stole the show
Ray?
from me. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
They were so good, and she had like so many of her scenes where like she's interacting with him, she's interacting with Eric, like were really great
Did you
because
find that her and Ray had insane
better chemistry. Yeah, really good chemistry.
Anytime they were on,
but that was, and I think that's
together-
intentional too because they talk about like her being his assistant and stuff.
and then her being like, his big fan, and like that was the other thing. It's like you saying that like she's trying to climb her way up
Because they say that. They straight up say that. Yeah.
Yeah, because she knew that she could get higher if she went with him
And
first.
he knew that and he used that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool. I think that the kid, Eric, his name's Melvin, I think, or something. His real name.
Oh, okay, sure.
He was fine.
Yeah.
I think he was okay. Like, he played the part, I think. I was like sort of the dumb,
And I kind of found him.
fresh out of university, fresh out of high school, basically.
He's kind of a doofus. Like he's
Yeah,
sort of-
and I think that's why those interviews lined up so well because they talked about how they were like that too.
yeah, and it's
Which
so
is
funny
really
to like
funny.
hear those interviews because all of those guys that they talked to were like extremely well spoken.
Well, so like what's
very
funny
smart.
is that like Carl Anthony Towns, like when he talked, you could see that it was like he'd talk, but it wasn't how he wanted to articulate it. There was like a couple of times where he like caught himself.
Yeah.
And I thought it was funny. I like related to that because like there's so many times where like that's the word I wanted, but that's not the way I wanted to say it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
like
see
that
him,
was
like,
great.
trying to rephrase it as he's saying.
And he just said at one point, he just said "fuck it," and he just like kept talking. But they're great. What's his face from Twin Peaks?
Yeah, Colin McLaughlin.
Colin
He was
McLaughlin.
fantastic.
I thought he plays the arrogant airhead owner guy so well. Like he was like that
was
in
perfect, yeah.
How I Met Your Mother too.
That's right,
As
yeah.
the captain.
the captain, right? I always forget he's in that.
Yeah.
But he played that part super well. He was just like
Yeah.
kind of this like arrogant, like beefy, like just classic
Yeah.
guy that you would always put to the face of an ownership
Yeah,
group
totally.
of like a professional
Old
team.
rich white guy.
Yeah.
And the Players Association rep.
Yeah, she was great.
She was great too. I have no idea who that
yeah.
was, but like she was great. I
She was
really liked
awesome.
her. She played the part too, and the scene where they're in the bar,
Yeah.
which like
yeah.
some of the lighting in this movie is insane. Like it's
Yeah.
so great. But and he's just nattering on, like he's coming in like a bunch of different angles. But I love that she like does not break the way that she's talking or like how she's interacting with him. It's the exact same. She keeps like calling him on bullshit. He tries something else.
Yeah.
She does it again. He tries something else.
Yeah.
Like it's just like constantly back and forth. But yeah, like really cool.
And there was like a really funny, very, very like quick joke that I actually paused the movie just to look up because I recognized it. But he like references a Fiona Apple song.
Oh, that's funny.
Like where he goes, what was it? She says something like about honey, like forgot what it was. But then he just like responds, and he goes, "What are you talking about?" And he goes, "Oh, just like lesbian liberal rock or something."
Oh, he says that? Oh, I did.
Yeah, it was like lesbian music or
that.
something. And I was like, "What the hell?"
yes,
And I was like,
lesbian music.
so I looked it up, and it was like a title of a Fiona Apple
Right.
song, and I was like, "Oh fuck." But yeah, this movie and the way that it's written too is it's just very self-contained.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, as
the
much
movie
as
starts,
it's
finishes-
fucking New York.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The entire thing is very like, and I think the way that it's filmed helps with that being
Yeah.
like, now I mean like the iPhone thing makes sense now, but like a
Because
lot of it isn't
Yeah.
huge environments. You sort of get buildings, but you get like, you don't get the whole building. You get pieces of the building. You get pieces of rooms. You get pieces of offices. It helps not feel so.
They had so many cool angles. Like
I love
filming
the
with an
scene where he
iPhone-
walks
Yeah.
from the restaurant all the way to his office.
I thought that was
great.
one of the coolest scenes I've seen in a movie in a long
It
time.
was just him walking.
It's just him walking. He's just
Yeah, but
in
it was
New York
just
City.
again the way it's filmed.
Yeah.
But that's
like-
the most scenery you see.
And then there's one where he's in the court with Spence, and he's like shooting, and they're
Yeah.
just sort of chatting, and just like the way that he's like the camera sort of just circles him really quickly, like kind of just goes around him.
There was a
then kinda
lot of
goes
those
around
shots though.
him.
There was a lot of those like long 180s. Like
Yeah.
there was one where he's talking to Eric and he's trying to convince him of like the game within the game.
Yeah.
And they're sitting at that table and it's just him. It's the camera following him moving around the
Yeah.
table, moving around Eric.
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Like in the
Fantastic.
What?
The way he said fantastic. Fantastic. It was wonderful.
But they could just do like some cool angles where they were like all of a sudden they were above someone, and then they were like directly in front of it, and then there was even a part where they like at the end where Zazie Beetz is reading the book, and it's from the perspective of the book
Yeah.
facing up at her.
Yeah.
It was just kind of neat. Like they just had a lot of really cool camera work, and like like I was saying with the way that it's written, it's just it starts and finishes, and there's sort of no loose ends. Whatever questions you had were answered by the end of the movie. Like it
Yeah.
all sort of, and that's kind of funny because like I really enjoyed this movie. And I felt like it was just really well written and really well acted.
Yeah.
And then I looked at like some of the like audience,
Yeah, I was gonna say because the Rotten Tomatoes score, the
It's really
critic
high.
score is like
It's great.
93 or something.
and
like
I went
that.
through a whole bunch of the reviews, and like it's at 93, but all of the reviews are high. It's all like B pluses and 3.5 out of out
The
of
IMDb
4.
score is like low too.
Yeah, and then
it's
the
like 6
IMDb
out of 10 or something
Yeah.
like that.
Which is so funny. Maybe it's just like it's again like because it's so dialogue driven that maybe people miss some stuff in it. But
I think that's probably what it is.
I really, really like this, and I think this is honestly one of my early
Same.
movie of the year.
3.5 out of 4 for Roger Ebert.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, 58% for audience score.
Yeah, so crazy.
93,
Super
but only
low.
85 reviews. So it means like just people aren't watching it, I guess.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Was there anything else? Music was cool. There was a lot of cool songs in it.
I actually didn't notice the music until the very end.
I think there's only maybe 3 songs,
Hmm.
but it was good.
Yeah. What do you give this?
Cool setting. Yeah, there's just like a lot of cool stuff. I just really like this, and
Yeah, I did too.
I think the time of year that it was set in.
Yeah, I'm
was-
almost disappointed this
fit for me,
didn't come
too.
out in theaters.
Yeah, I think it would have been cool to see.
Yeah.
But I would give this like honestly like I don't know 6.5 out of 7.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I think this movie like is up there for me for like sports movies too.
Totally.
I love Moneyball and that's my favorite. But I think this one's like first, if not tied for first for that one.
Yeah,
Because like Moneyball's so great. And I think it just like,
I gotta rewatch that now that we're talking about
Yeah.
it. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen
but
it.
yeah, this was great. This is like right up my alley.
Yep.
I think I'm really into like all the dialogue and stuff. And I love Steven Soderbergh and that just kind of like, he's like one of my favorite directors, definitely.
I think so too. Yeah,
But yeah, 6.5 out of 7.
this was a really good movie and definitely
Yeah.
big
Big recommend, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I think this is honestly probably our like one of our top movies. No, you know what? This is my top movie so far this year. This is really good.
Of the 3 movies we've seen this year.
4? No, we've seen 5. I don't know. I could go just through the list.
You could.
Anyway, yeah, that was First Watch, First Listen of the 91st Academy Awards and High Flying Bird, sorry.
High Flying Bird.
Directed by Steven Soderbergh. Yeah, you can get us at Twin Speaks Pod on Instagram. That's what we're most active on. Get me at KidCombo_ on Twitter. Andrew at Animonium on Instagram. Email us, whatever.
What's our email?
At twinspeakspod@gmail.com. There you go. Cool. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.